In the vast emptiness of space, the Galactic Council gathered in their Grand Council chamber aboard the orbiting station of Xylar Prime. Species from countless worlds, tall, thin, glowing, armored, or winged, sat in elaborate seats, their eyes fixed on the holographic map of known star systems. For centuries, the Council had guided the galaxy, dictating trade, war, and diplomacy with the wisdom of millennia. Yet there was one species they all ignored: humans. Earth, sneered Ambassador Threx, his spiny face twisting in disdain. Still primitive, a planet of mud, water, and barely functioning technology. Why should we waste time discussing them? General Vornak, a hulking creature with 6 arms, snorted. They cannot even leave their own solar system. Their ships are laughable. No threat here. Move on. The others murmured in agreement. The Council had never seen humans as anything more than a curiosity. A species too young, too fragile, and too simple to matter. They had no seat at the table, no votes in the Galactic Parliament, and no fleet worth mentioning. They were invisible, but invisibility can be deceiving. Far from the Council's view, Earth thrummed with quiet progress. Humanity had survived wars, plagues, and countless disasters, yet they had thrived. Hidden research stations floated in orbit, mining asteroids and testing faster-than-light drives. AI systems calculated solutions that even the most advanced Council minds would struggle to understand. And in secret, the first human stealth battleship, the Aurora, prepared for its maiden voyage beyond the solar system. Admiral Kara Selwyn stood on the bridge of the Aurora, her dark hair tied back, her eyes scanning the stars. Every detail mattered: the trajectory of the ship, the power levels of the reactors, the algorithms of the AI drones. Humanity was small, but they had learned to think in ways the galaxy had not. "Report," she commanded, her voice steady but sharp. "Faster-than-light drive calibrated, Admiral. All systems green," replied Lieutenant Marcus Hale, his hands dancing across the console. Kara nodded. "Good, prepare the stealth field. We leave detection behind. The Council is watching the wrong stars. They think we are still primitive. Let's make sure they remain wrong." Even as the Aurora slipped into the black, the Galactic Council debated. "There is no need to worry about humans," Threx continued, waving his claw dismissively. "They are not worthy of our attention. They cannot even colonize Mars properly. Let them squabble among themselves. Waste of time." But not all agreed. A young, slender alien named Leora leaned forward, her luminous eyes serious. "I disagree. There are patterns we cannot ignore. Their technological growth rate is abnormal. If they continue at this pace," she hesitated, the thought unspoken, "we may one day regret ignoring them." The Council laughed. The idea was preposterous. No species with only 200 years of interstellar technology could challenge the combined might of the Council fleets. Meanwhile, humanity was already preparing to prove them wrong. In orbit above Mars, a mining station hummed with activity. Dr. Elias Tran, lead engineer for the Human Drone Project, supervised dozens of autonomous drones. They moved in perfect coordination, repairing equipment, analyzing minerals, and adapting instantly to changing conditions. "These drones are learning faster than anything we've seen," Elias said to his assistant, a young woman named Maya Lin. "They're capable of predicting outcomes we haven't even calculated yet." Maya smiled, eyes bright with excitement. "If the Council ever notices us, they'll be in for a surprise." Elias chuckled. "Let's hope they don't. We work better unnoticed." Humans had learned that being underestimated was their greatest advantage. Every innovation, every calculation, every experiment was a step forward in a silent war the Council didn't know existed. And then came the first sign of trouble. A small reconnaissance vessel, part of the Council's monitoring network, entered the solar system. Its mission was simple: scan Earth's technological output, report, and leave. It was not supposed to interact with humans, but humans had been watching. The Council underestimated their sensors. Kara's console lit up. Anomaly detected. Unknown vessel entering the inner system. Prepare intercept. Marcus frowned. Admiral, it's a Council scout. They'll notice us. Kara shook her head. Let them notice. But they will not leave intact. The Aurora activated its stealth field, becoming invisible to all outside sensors. In minutes, they approached the scout undetected. Kara studied the alien ship, marveling at the crude technology. It was advanced for Council standards, yes, but primitive compared to humanity's new systems. Prepare the EMP pulse, she ordered. Non-lethal, just enough to disable their systems. We don't want casualties yet. The pulse fired silently. The scout's engine sputtered, then died. Its crew scrambled, unaware of the humans watching them from the shadows. Within moments, the ship floated powerless, an easy mark. Return it to orbit around Jupiter, Kara instructed. We'll study it later. And make sure the Council sees nothing. Marcus hesitated. You're sure about this? If they trace it back, Kara smiled faintly. They won't. They never expect humans to act like this. That's our advantage. Across the galaxy in the Council chamber, Threx yawned, oblivious to the events unfolding in the solar system. Humans are harmless, he said. They pose no threat. This Council does not concern itself with backwater species. But Leora's expression darkened. We should not underestimate them. They are learning faster than any species their age. Their growth is unnatural. Threx waved her off. Paranoid, they cannot challenge us. The Council is eternal. We will not fall to Earthlings. The Council had made a critical mistake. Pride had blinded them. Back on the Aurora, Kara watched as the disabled scout drifted silently among the stars. Humanity had taken its first step into the galaxy, unnoticed by the very powers that thought themselves all-seeing. It was thrilling, terrifying, and exhilarating all at once. Admiral, Marcus said softly, one day they will notice us. Kara's eyes glinted. And when they do, we'll be ready. The galaxy believes humans are weak. They are wrong. The time will come when the Council regrets ignoring us. For now, humanity remained in the shadows, quietly expanding, quietly building, quietly learning. They were underestimated, overlooked, dismissed. But the seeds of their power had been planted, and the galaxy was about to face a force it never expected. On Earth, children looked up at the stars, dreaming of worlds far beyond their own. They could not imagine that one day, humans would not just reach those stars, they would command them. The Galactic Council might see themselves as rulers of all, but in their arrogance, they had ignored the most dangerous element of all, a species that had learned to survive, adapt, and thrive against impossible odds. And that species was human. The first part of the Silent War had begun. Humanity was no longer just Earthlings. They were the overlooked, underestimated, rising force that the galaxy would one day have to reckon with. The galaxy had always believed that humanity was small and insignificant. That belief was about to change. Humanity's presence in the stars remained quiet but purposeful. Beyond the orbit of Mars, hidden colonies and mining operations flourished. Scientists, engineers, and explorers worked together, refining faster-than-light travel, stealth technology, and AI systems. While the Galactic Council busied itself with their own affairs, humans expanded at a pace no one expected. Admiral Kara Selwyn stood once again on the bridge of the Aurora, the flagship of the small but growing human fleet. The stars streaked past as the ship jumped through faster-than-light space, heading toward a distant, unclaimed system. Kara's eyes scanned the tactical displays, her mind calculating every possibility. "Admiral," Lieutenant Marcus Hale said, his voice tense but excited, "sensors indicate an uninhabited system with rich resources. No other species has claimed it." Kara nodded. "Perfect. Set the coordinates. Prepare the colonization drones. We take it quietly, efficiently, and leave nothing for anyone else to contest." Humanity had learned that the key to survival and eventual dominance was intelligence, not aggression. They did not conquer for glory or greed. Every system claimed, every resource secured, every technological breakthrough was a shield, a preparation for the inevitable confrontation with the powers that had always dismissed them. Meanwhile, on Xylar Prime, the Galactic Council began to notice anomalies. "Reports are coming in," General Vornek said, looming over the holographic map. His 6 arms tapped impatiently on the console. "Systems on the edge of Council territory are being colonized by humans." Threx's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. How could a species so young and primitive reach those systems before our fleets? It defies logic." Leora, the young alien counselor, spoke up. "I warned you. Their technological growth is abnormal. They are not what we believe them to be. If we do not act, they may become a serious threat." Vornak growled. "Threat? They are humans, tiny, fragile, and insignificant. Perhaps a nuisance, but not a threat. We need to maintain perspective." Perspective, however, is often dangerous when mixed with arrogance. Back on the Aurora, humanity's fleet moved like shadows through the unclaimed star systems. Colonization drones spread out, building habitats, resource extraction facilities, and communication networks. Every move was precise, calculated, and hidden from the Council's eyes. Dr. Elias Tran monitored the progress from the engineering bay. His drones were more than machines. They were adaptive, intelligent, and learning faster than anyone imagined. "They're learning to predict alien movements," Elias said to Maya Lin, who was beside him. "By the time the Council notices us, our systems will be untouchable." Maya smiled. "They'll never see it coming." And indeed, the first direct encounter with the Council's reconnaissance forces confirmed their advantage. A small Council scouting fleet, sent to investigate the unusual activity near the Orion sector, entered the system where humans were quietly establishing operations. Kara's sensors picked up the ships long before the Council's sensors could detect the humans. "Admiral, they're approaching," Marcus said. "They haven't noticed us yet." Kara's fingers danced over the controls. "Good. Let's make sure they leave with a message. Prepare the defensive drones and the stealth field. We will show them we are not defenseless." The Council ships moved closer, confident and arrogant. They expected a primitive species that would scatter at their approach. Instead, the human fleet, though small in number, was strategically positioned. Asteroids were mined and repositioned to act as natural shields, while stealth drones flitted unseen, ready to disable engines and weapon systems. The first encounter was subtle but devastating. Council weapons fired, only to find their energy beams deflected by invisible shields. Their engines stuttered as human drones delivered targeted EMP pulses, temporarily disabling navigation systems. Within hours, the scouting fleet was forced to retreat, baffled and humiliated. Kara watched from the bridge, a quiet satisfaction in her eyes. "They are learning too slowly," she said. "We have the advantage. Let's not waste it." The Council, for the first time, realized that humans were not only capable but dangerous in ways they had not anticipated. Panic began to ripple through their ranks, though they refused to admit it publicly. In the political chamber of the Council, debates became heated. "This cannot continue," Vornak bellowed. "How could humans reach these systems before our fleets? What do they have that we do not?" Threx remained calm outwardly, but his claws trembled slightly. "We underestimated them. Perhaps they are stronger than we thought, but still they are humans. They cannot be a real threat." "Humans are no longer primitive," Leora argued. "They have stealth ships, adaptive drones, and strategies that rival our best generals. Ignoring them is a mistake." But arrogance is a stubborn habit, and the Council hesitated to act decisively. They preferred to believe in their own superiority rather than confront a species they had always dismissed. On Earth, life continued mostly unaware of the silent galactic struggle. Children played under blue skies, scientists worked in labs, and engineers tested spacecraft in orbit. Humanity's growth was quiet, almost invisible. But behind the scenes, their presence spread like a hidden current, moving toward a future the Council could not yet see. Dr. Elias Tran monitored data from the drones in orbit and smiled. "They think they are observing us," he said, "but we are observing them, learning and preparing. Every mistake they make teaches us something new." Maya Lin looked over the readings. "It's incredible. They underestimate humans at every turn, and we use that against them. We're not just surviving, we're getting stronger." Indeed, that was the core of humanity's advantage: adaptability. While the Council relied on rigid rules, tradition, and overwhelming firepower, humans relied on creativity, improvisation, and relentless innovation. Every system claimed, every drone perfected, every new technology developed was a step toward eventual dominance. Kara Selwyn knew this better than anyone. Standing on the bridge of the Aurora, she felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity was still small compared to the Galactic Council, but size alone was not strength. Strategy, ingenuity, and courage were their weapons. "Prepare for another jump," she ordered. "We take the next system, and we do it quietly. The Council does not need to see everything we do yet. They will notice soon enough." Marcus nodded. "Do you think they will ever take us seriously?" Kara smiled faintly, her eyes on the stars ahead. "They have no choice. We are already beyond their expectations, and soon they will learn the hard way that ignoring humanity was the galaxy's first mistake." As the Aurora jumped into faster-than-light space, the Council scrambled to understand what was happening. Their fleets were faster and larger, but they lacked the human advantage: the ability to adapt, learn, and strike unpredictably. Meanwhile, in the hidden reaches of the galaxy, humanity quietly expanded. Colonies thrived on newly discovered worlds. Drones worked tirelessly, building infrastructure and gathering resources. Scientists experimented with AI systems capable of learning faster than any council technology. And all the while, humans watched, studied, and waited for the moment when the galaxy would finally notice them. The first encounter had shown the Council one undeniable truth: humans were not to be ignored, and humans were ready. Every silent jump into unclaimed space, every hidden colony, every new innovation brought them closer to the day when they would no longer be the overlooked species. The galaxy had assumed humans were small, weak, and insignificant. They were wrong. Humans were patient, intelligent, and growing stronger with every passing day. They had learned to survive, to adapt, and to thrive in ways the Council could not predict. And the galaxy, for all its arrogance and power, had yet to see the true force of humanity rising from the shadows. The Galactic Council could no longer ignore humanity. Reports of rapid colonization, hidden fleets, and strange defensive technologies had reached every corner of the galaxy. Their arrogance was shaken. The species they had once dismissed as weak and insignificant had grown far beyond their expectations. Council chambers buzzed with heated debate. "We cannot allow them to continue unchecked," General Vornak roared, his 6 arms gesturing wildly. "Humans are too unpredictable, too clever. They are undermining centuries of order." Threx hissed, his spiny claws tapping impatiently. "Then we strike. We send the fleet, crush them before they grow any stronger. No hesitation." Leora, the young counselor who had long warned of humanity's potential, spoke softly but firmly. "We must be cautious. They are clever. They do not fight like any species we have faced before. Underestimating them now will be our greatest mistake." Vornak ignored her. Strategy in his mind was simple: overwhelming force. And that was a mistake humans had learned to exploit. Far from the Council's hub, humanity had anticipated this moment. Admiral Kara Selwyn paced the bridge of the Aurora, her eyes scanning tactical displays. The Council would strike eventually. They always did when something threatened their pride. And when that time came, humans would not be caught off guard. Reports from the outer colonies, Kara asked. Lieutenant Marcus Hale replied, "All systems secure, Admiral. Defensive drones are online. Stealth networks fully operational. We are ready for whatever they send." Kara nodded. "Good. Prepare for engagement. We are not here to start a war, but we will defend ourselves if the Council insists on testing us." The warning came sooner than expected. A massive Council fleet appeared on the edge of human-controlled space. Hundreds of ships, bristling with weapons and shields, moved with the confidence of centuries-old power. "Admiral," Marcus said, his voice tense, "they're here." Kara's eyes narrowed. "Then let's show them what humans can do." Unlike any other species, humanity had learned that raw power alone was not enough. The Council relied on overwhelming fleets and rigid formations, assuming that no primitive species could outthink them. Humans relied on strategy, deception, and adaptability. Kara activated the stealth field of the fleet. Ships and drones vanished from the Council's sensors. Hidden among asteroid fields and dark nebulae, humans set traps and prepared ambushes. Dr. Elias Tran monitored the AI drones from a command station orbiting a nearby moon. "They're approaching fast. Our drones will adapt to their weapons in real time. Every attack they launch will teach the drones how to counter it immediately." Maya Lin, standing beside him, smiled. "By the time they think they've learned, we'll already have changed the game." The Council fleet advanced, confident in their superiority. But as they entered human-controlled space, the first traps activated. Asteroids shifted, guided by human technology, blocking vital routes. Stealth drones disabled engines on smaller vessels, leaving them drifting helplessly. Defensive systems intercepted attacks before they even left Council ships. From the bridge of the Aurora, Kara watched the chaos unfold. "Keep the pressure on. Remember, we do not fight for destruction. We fight for survival, for our future. The galaxy may have ignored us, but no longer." The first skirmish lasted hours. The Council's massive fleet, used to dominating with brute force, struggled against humans' adaptive tactics. They could not anticipate the sudden ambushes, the clever use of terrain, or the invisible drone networks learning with every move. Inside the Council chamber, panic began to spread. "Retreat!" Vornak barked, frustrated. This was not supposed to happen. "How is a species so young, so primitive, countering our fleet?" Threx looked grim. "We underestimated them entirely. They do not fight like any species we know. Their intelligence and strategy are frightening." Leora's eyes gleamed. "I warned you, they are not weak. They are human. They learn, adapt, and survive against impossible odds." The Council struggled to regroup. Smaller allied species watched the battle unfold, some secretly impressed, some openly concerned. Humanity's resilience and cleverness were rewriting the rules of engagement in the galaxy. Meanwhile, humans were already planning their next moves. Kara's strategy was simple: defend, learn, and conserve strength. The Council may have had larger numbers, but humans had ingenuity, adaptability, and the will to survive against impossible odds. On the battlefield, the Aurora led the fleet in a series of daring maneuvers. Council ships found themselves trapped between asteroid belts, ambushed by AI drones and forced to retreat repeatedly. Every human strike was precise, every counter calculated. Humanity's strength was not in firepower, it was in thinking faster than the enemy. As the battle wore on, Kara received reports from the colonies. Communication arrays had picked up signals from smaller species observing the conflict. Some were already considering shifting allegiance, realizing that humans were no longer to be dismissed. Marcus glanced at Kara. "Admiral, they're adapting, but slower than us. We're still ahead." Kara smiled faintly. "Exactly, and they will continue to underestimate us until it's too late." The Council fleet was forced to withdraw, unable to breach human defenses. It was the first major defeat the Galactic Council had suffered in centuries. A species they had ignored, laughed at, and dismissed had outsmarted them. In the aftermath, humans tended to their wounded ships and repaired damaged colonies. Victory had not come from overwhelming force, but from careful planning, strategy, and superior technology. Humanity had proven that they could stand against the most powerful organization in the galaxy. Back in the council chambers, Vornak slammed his fists on the console. We were humiliated by humans. They are different. We cannot continue ignoring them. Threx sighed, his pride wounded. They are more than I imagined. Perhaps we need to reconsider our approach, but admitting that publicly, it will shame the council. Leora's gaze was steady. It is time to accept reality. Humans are no longer the overlooked species. They are a force to be respected. They may even lead the galaxy one day. The thought sent a ripple of unease through the chamber. A species they had dismissed, a species that was supposed to be weak, was now a power they could not ignore. And if the council failed to adapt, humanity could surpass them entirely. On Earth, the people remained unaware of the full scale of the conflict. Scientists and engineers celebrated the success of their missions. Children played under the sky, and life continued. But in the hearts and minds of humans, the future was clear. They would not be ignored, they would not be underestimated, and they would not wait for permission to claim their place among the stars. Admiral Kara Selwyn stood on the bridge of the Aurora, staring at the endless expanse of space. Humanity had won this battle, but the war for recognition and survival was only beginning. They thought we were weak, she said quietly to Marcus. They thought we were small, insignificant, and slow. They were wrong, and they will continue to be wrong every time they doubt us. Marcus nodded. Do you think they will come back? They will, Kara replied. But next time we'll be even stronger. We've learned from this encounter, and we will continue to grow, to innovate, to prepare. They ignored us once. They will not make that mistake again. Far away, the council began to rethink everything. Strategies, fleets, alliances, they would need to adjust to a species that had defied every expectation. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and their rise was unstoppable. The galaxy had assumed humans were insignificant. They were wrong. And the day was coming when everyone would have to face the truth. Humanity was no longer the overlooked species. And when that day came, the Council would face consequences they could not imagine. The defeat of the Council fleet had sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For centuries, the Galactic Council had ruled with unchallenged authority, confident in their power and experience. Yet, a species they once dismissed as primitive had shown them that intelligence, strategy, and courage could overcome sheer size and strength. Back on the Aurora, Admiral Kara Selwyn stood on the bridge, gazing at the stars that stretched endlessly before her. Humanity had survived the first confrontation. They had proven themselves capable of defending not just Earth, but their growing presence across the galaxy. And now the time had come to define their future. Admiral, Marcus Hale said, Council reinforcements are gathering near the outer systems. They're regrouping, trying to plan their next move. Kara nodded slowly. Let them. We will not strike first. We fight for survival, for knowledge, for the right to exist and grow. But when they approach, we will be ready. Humanity will no longer hide in the shadows. Across the colonies, humans worked tirelessly. The hidden cities of the Orion sector, once unknown to the Council, thrived. Scientists refined AI systems that could adapt to any tactic. Engineers constructed ships capable of both stealth and speed. And diplomats quietly reached out to smaller species, showing that cooperation with humanity was safer and more beneficial than siding with an arrogant council. Dr. Elias Tran walked through the bustling corridors of the largest orbital colony. The AI drones are ready for any attack, he said to Maya Lin. They learn faster than the enemy can react. We can defend ourselves, yes, but we can also teach the galaxy a new lesson. Intelligence and creativity matter more than raw power. Maya smiled. They'll never underestimate us again. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council struggled to regain control. Their fleets had been beaten by a species they believed insignificant. Smaller allied species began to question the Council's authority. Rumors of humans' capabilities spread faster than any official message. A ripple of fear, respect, and admiration began to form across the galaxy. Vornak, the once proud general, slammed his claw on the Council console. We underestimated them. How did a species so young, so untested, outmaneuver our fleets? Threx's spines bristled. They are more than we imagined, perhaps too much. We must acknowledge that humanity is a force to be reckoned with. We cannot afford further mistakes. Leora, the counselor who had long warned them, nodded. It is time to change. We must recognize that humans are equals. They are not just survivors, they are innovators, strategists, and now, leaders in their own right. Back on the Aurora, Kara received a transmission from the Council. It was formal, cautious, and carefully worded. Admiral Selwyn, the message began, the Galactic Council requests dialogue. We acknowledge the capabilities of humanity and wish to discuss terms for future cooperation. We recognize your right to exist and expand. Your ingenuity and strength have proven remarkable. Kara studied the message, a faint smile crossing her lips. The Council had finally admitted the truth. Humans could no longer be ignored. Prepare a response, she said. But remember, we negotiate as equals. We will not bow to arrogance. We will ensure that humanity's voice is heard and that our place in the galaxy is respected. The diplomatic efforts that followed were delicate. The Council attempted to maintain authority while acknowledging humanity's rise. Human diplomats, led by Kara and a team of seasoned negotiators, emphasized cooperation, fairness, and innovation. They proposed a new galactic order, one based on merit, intelligence, and contribution, rather than age, size, or brute force. Small species, long oppressed or ignored by the Council, quietly aligned with humanity. They saw the promise of a galaxy where humans, with their ingenuity and fairness, could lead without tyranny. It was a vision of a future where creativity, courage, and adaptability were valued above arrogance and tradition. Kara stood on the observation deck of the Aurora, looking at the galaxy that stretched endlessly before her. "This is just the beginning," she said softly to Marcus. He nodded. "The Council finally sees us, but they will not make it easy." "They won't have to," Kara replied. "We are not here to conquer. We are here to survive, to grow, and to guide. The galaxy underestimated humanity once. They will not do it again." As human fleets moved through the stars, colonies continued to flourish. The Council, humbled but willing to adapt, began to negotiate openly. Some members resisted, clinging to old pride, but humanity's presence could not be ignored. Knowledge, technology, and diplomacy had reshaped the balance of power. Dr. Elias Tran activated a new generation of AI drones aboard a research station orbiting a distant star. "These systems will change everything," he said. "They learn, adapt, and improve. Humanity will continue to grow stronger every day. The galaxy has no choice but to acknowledge us." Maya Lin watched the drones coordinate with flawless precision. "It's incredible. We've become a species they cannot predict, cannot control, and we're only getting started." Humanity's rise was not about conquest or dominance. It was about survival, innovation, and the courage to stand against overwhelming odds. Every human knew the lessons of history. The strong do not always win, but the clever, adaptable, and determined often do. And humanity had all three in abundance. As negotiations continued, the Council gradually accepted a new reality. Humans were equals, not only in strength but in strategy, intelligence, and vision. Ambassador Threx, once dismissive and arrogant, now stood quietly beside Leora during a session, acknowledging humanity's capabilities with reluctant respect. "Perhaps we misjudged them," he admitted quietly. "They are not the species we thought. They are extraordinary." Leora nodded. "Extraordinary, yes, and this is only the beginning. Humanity has shown that courage and intelligence can overcome arrogance. The galaxy will remember this lesson for ages." On Earth, people looked up at the stars, unaware of the full scale of the galactic changes. Children dreamed, scientists experimented, and humanity thrived. Yet the hidden fleets, the colonies, and the technological marvels continued their work, preparing for the future. Admiral Kara Selwyn, standing once more on the Aurora, looked out at the endless expanse. The galaxy had once ignored humans, dismissed them, and assumed they were weak. That assumption had been humanity's greatest advantage, and it would continue to be. "The Council knows who we are now," she said to Marcus. "But the galaxy is still ours to explore, to protect, and to guide. We have only just begun," Marcus smiled. "It feels incredible. The species that was overlooked has become the one to watch." "Yes," Kara said softly. "And the future will belong to those who dare, who think, and who act when others hesitate. Humanity was ignored once. Never again." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of unclaimed worlds, unknown civilizations, and infinite possibilities. Humanity was no longer small. They were not weak. They were a force built on ingenuity, courage, and resilience. The Galactic Council had learned a lesson that would echo through history: never underestimate the overlooked species. And humanity, rising from the shadows, would ensure the galaxy never made the same mistake again. The Aurora jumped into faster-than-light space, leading the fleet toward uncharted systems, toward knowledge, toward the unknown. Every human aboard understood the truth. The galaxy was vast, challenges were many, but humanity had the will, the mind, and the courage to claim its place among the stars. The overlooked species had become the architects of their own destiny, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again.